Welcome back, everybody. I'm Brad.
I'm Steve.
So, since Steve's here, we're going to go over the Amarillo Extract Smash Beer. This is the brew day. If you didn't watch the tasting of the Amarillo all grain one, we're going to start a series. We're going to make a whole bunch of small batch beers. We're going to start with Smash, so single malt, single hop. I'm going to do raw 2-row. Steve's going to do Maris Otter. We'll use the same hops, but technically each month, let's say, we'll have 4 beers. Mm-hmm. Steve's going to do 2 with Maris Otter. I'm going to do 2 with raw 2-row. We'll do 2 different hops in each one. So I'll have 2, he'll have 2. We'll compare them, and then we'll move on and move up to, I guess, whatever kind of beers we want. Maris Otter, I think, would be more of the darker beers. Mm-hmm. And raw 2-row, more of the IPAs on that side. Maybe we could somehow make a brown with raw 2-row and Maris Otter and just see what we get.
No, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the benefit of doing this too is, and we've wanted to do this for 3 years, is we're going to be able to kind of knock out a couple different things. We're going to be able to tell hop flavor, what do we like, what don't we like, where hopefully we can portray that to you as well.
Right.
And then we'll really tell the difference between base malts as well.
Right.
Because I think after a while we'll probably switch it up, maybe go like Vienna
right.
and like something else.
Yeah. Yeah, and we would think new people to home brewing, this is a good way to start.
Yeah. Great
you're even if you make small batches like we are, because that's for what we're doing, and hopefully it continues, is 4 25-ounce bottles. Mm-hmm. So that's 4 beers at 25 ounces that you can make in, if it's an IPA, 2 weeks, drink it within 3, and you could have another one going and keep making them. So you really don't need 5 gallons of beer.
Right.
Like with us, for me, most of the time, if I make 5 gallons, I want to make it, do the review, and who wants my beer? Because I want to go on to the next.
Something different,
right?
Yeah,
and I think, at least on my side of home brewing, that's what I want to do.
For me, it's all about time savings, because I've got 3 kids and a deaf dog, puppy.
So, but this one would be a good one to do fast.
Yes.
Now, I didn't do it fast because I wanted it closer to the all-grain version, but in the end, we will talk about doing this one fast. So this is the Extract Amarillo Smash Beer. I used Pilsen Malt Light DME. So not light DME, but make sure you get the Pilsen. It's a lighter level bond, so that way it's more yellowish.
Sure. Yeah.
So for this recipe, 2 pounds, 3.2 ounces of the DME. Then the hop schedule is exactly the same as the all grain batch. 0.39 ounces at 30 minutes, 0.29 at 5 minutes, and then 0.32 ounces at dry hop, which is about 3 days into fermentation. You want that yeast to be at high corrosion, so it's pushing everything out. So when you add those hops, oxidation doesn't occur. Steve and I were talking about this before, but so I started with 2 gallons of water. I did weigh it, and Steve, I'll give him my calculations for the water, so everything should be about the same.
Hopefully.
So pre-boil on this, Beersmith wanted 1042. I hit 1045, in the ballpark.
Not bad.
After is where it gets interesting. So I ended up with a little over 1.25 gallons. Mm-hmm. I don't think I took a picture of the all-grain version once it was in the Mr. Beer, but I did do this extract kit so I could kind of judge later down the road. So post-boil gravity was supposed to be 1061. Mine ended up at 1088. We're not sure how that happens.
The only thing I can see from your notes, and it's that is 1061 at 1.3 gallons, but you were at 1.25. 0.05 gallons shouldn't make that big a difference. So I have no idea.
And if anything, I would 1.3. And I guess that's my only knock on the Mr. Beer as of right now, because because it's so small, I would expect it. Why doesn't it have half gallon, 1 gallon,
little
1.5, and 2? I know from looking, we're not even half full. I'll put a picture up of the one I posted, but we're not even half full in that thing.
No.
So if we are over 1.3 gallons, that should bring it should bring it down, because there's more water, more liquid.
I wouldn't say you missed 1.3 by a lot. You shouldn't have that high of a number.
Yeah. This is 10.3. You're not looking at that, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I'm looking at
just the 1.3, not that.
The 1088.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, that, to me, tells me you're missing a gallon somewhere. Yeah. And you're clearly.
Yeah, I have half a gallon left over. So I want to do another one. And I don't buy DME a lot. But my local homebrew store only has it in 3-pound packages. So what it was close to what I needed. Mm-hmm. But I think, and we know this, but if you don't know, you're saving time with using DME because it's dry malt. But for 3 pounds, it was $11.50. So for the Roar 2-row, it was $10 for 10 pounds. Mm-hmm. Then for the Maris Otter, I think it was $15. So you can save time, but you're going to spend more money up front. Yeah. So this is in primary, so that is the brew day. But I think almost like the Craft a Brew, the milkshake one that I made, I want to try this with like a 20-minute boil. Because it's DME.
Yeah, you don't need to.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not really sanitizing much. It's already.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not going to be
as long as you bring it up to a boil.
I would think you're fine.
Yeah. So I believe what I did on this one, I did bring it up to the boil. I added the DME. I let it boil for an hour. The only thing I don't know, because I was trying to keep it the same, is Amarillo was added at 30 minutes and then added at 5 minutes. If you do a 10-minute or 20-minute boil,
you'd have to reduce your volume of water.
Well, no. You're not going to get the same IBUs out of the hops, so I believe you would have to use more hops.
Well, if you did a 30-minute boil, yeah, you're right. But if you still looked at your boil schedule of hops and said, all right, my hops of Amarillo are 30 minutes, so I'm going to get my DME, I'm going to shove it in there at 180 something degrees. I'm going to mix it up so that when it hits, the boil, I'm good to go. Just start my process and there we go.
So do you think, though, on something like this, without, I guess, buying more hops, because my thought is if you do a 20-minute boil and you put hops in at that point, your utilization's not going to be as much, so your IBUs are going to be lower, so you're going to have to throw in more hops.
Yes.
But this is calculated, I guess you could say, to use 1 pack per brew.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So I think if you cut it down, you might have to, out of that 1 pack, put more hops than have less, like, dry hops. But what's that going to do to the beer?
It might
we could go on for 10
yeah.
years trying stuff. But, yeah, I would say if you wanted to make something like this and you were starved for time, I could see making this it would probably take you an hour because if you're doing this inside on your stovetop, it's going to take a little bit to get 1.3 gallons, 1.5 up to a boil. And
Especially
then,
if you have electric.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think somewhere probably an hour is what you would spend.
Yeah. And then give yourself time to clean too.
Yeah.
So.
But I have to tell you, this stuff is so easy to clean. There's one pot, especially when you do extract. One pot, one spoon, one siphon, and it's all clean. Instead of an all-grain brew day.
Yep.
3 vessels.
Oh, I know.
Everything
and make
else.
sure, though, that the wife is okay with, like, a grain sweet smell. Because if you're using any kind of, like, specialty grains that you have to steep, you'll smell. And it's not a bad smell. It's just your house will smell.
Speaking of that, Jessica did not like when I added the hops.
No?
No.
Oh, there you go.
And our house smelled like that for like 3 days, and I'm like, man, it smells good in here.
You're like, man, I need a beer.
Yeah. You're never doing that again. I'm like, oh, yes, I am. So, yeah, that's the brew day. We're not going to make a lot of extract beers unless you guys want them, because we are more focused on all grain. It's a brew in the bag. Anybody can do it, especially if you're making this small of a batch. Mm-hmm. We got these humongous nylon bags on Amazon. I think it was $7. So I would think you would save yourself a lot of money just to buy that nylon bag and do all grain and crush them. Most homebrew stores or most online places are going to have you can get them crushed. So I think you'll save a lot of money by going all grain, especially if you're doing these small batches. Mm-hmm. And like we said in the all grain small batch Amarillo review, you've got 4 25-ounce beers that are at like 7.5%. You do that, make another one, make another one, make another one, and yeah, you'll be good to go.
Well, and if you do decide to go the extract route, the DME is a little easier to use than I would say the liquid. Now, as far as quality, I don't know, because I know with liquid you'll get they do have like a Maris Otter liquid and all that. But the problem I have with the liquid is normally whatever canister it comes in, whether it's a can or a half-gallon jug, you have to like kind of get some hot water in there to get the rest of it out, and you're not even really sure how much did I add. Yeah, like I have no idea. So there's some pros and cons.
Right, and if we have, I guess I would say extra time, we might do like an all grain versus a DME versus a liquid. Just to see. Then we could almost do what the taste difference is. Also, what is the price difference? Yeah. What's the time difference?
Yep.
Because I think for the all grain, it was probably 2.5 hours just for a 1.25 gallon batch going into the carboy, because you still have to heat that water up
and let it seep,
and then you've got an hour mash, and then you've got an hour boil. So you have at least 2 hours, and depending on what you use to heat that water, it could take 20-30 minutes to get it up there.
Yeah.
So
that would be my...
Yeah. Where you can pay more for extract.
And save time.
Yeah. A lot more time. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Let us know if you have any comments down below. If you like this video, thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs down. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you know when new videos are coming out. And until next time, I'm Brad.
I'm Steve.
Happy brewing.
See you next time.